try it myself right now. So let's move on. So now I would like to invite Mr. Reinhold Happler, the trade advisor from the German-Thai Chamber of Commerce, for a welcoming remark. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Happler to this.
So, okay. So, Sawadee Krap. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Thai Chamber of Commerce, I would like to welcome you to here at the CM Society for the Freedom Dialogue Germany Thailand 4.0 Opportunities and Challenges of Digitalization, which is organized by the Friedrich Naumann Foundation for Freedom in Bangkok. Ladies and gentlemen, Industry 4.0 or Thailand 4.0 combines production methods with information and communication technology. And the driving force behind this development is a rapidly increasing digitalization and automatization of the economy and of the society. It is changing the future of manufacturing and work in Germany, in Thailand, and all over the world. Smart factories are now determining the fourth industrial revolution. By using new automation processes, there will also be a decrease in energy consumption and environmental costs. Investment in new technology will correlate into increased innovation, which is the main key to turning raw materials into value-added products, higher profits, and a healthier and more sustainable economy system. Being the production hub of ASEAN and various key industries, Thailand manufacturers need to move forward investing in new production technology to maintain this status, be it in the automotive, in the food packaging industry, or in the electronic industry. The possibilities with Thailand 4.0 seems almost unlimited, but there are also a variety of challenges there. One challenge will be to make the companies fit for this future, especially the SME companies. Another challenge will be to take the people with us on this trip. This means the customers as well as the worker who are working in these new smart factories. With the today panel discussion, we all will learn more about the challenges and the opportunities which digitalization brings with us. On this note, I would like to thank our partners and all the panelists for contributing today, and I want to wish all of us a great and insightful event, new knowledge, and a fruitful business discussion. Thank you very much. Kap kun kap.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reinhold Happler. We would also like to invite Mrs. Catherine Banak, our head of project Thailand and Myanmar, to give a welcoming remarks too.
Sawadee Krap. Welcome to our event on behalf of the Friedrich Naumann Foundation. How can we increase prosperity? How can we finance welfare? How can we prepare for the demographic change, for globalization? What does education need to look like in future? The way we answer these questions will determine how our societies look like in future. And this was actually a quote of an article I read recently. Guess in which country? And, well, it could be all over the world, but this was written from a board member of the foundation, Karl-Heinz Paquet, and he was talking about Germany. But it could also be Thailand I've been talking about. The answer should be given by 4.0. We're talking today about it. But what actually is 4.0? And I think in Thailand, also in Germany, where the term was invented a few years ago, many people don't really know what it is. So today we get some ideas what it means. And certainly digitalization will change our lives. It might have a revolutionary impact. It will make our life so much easier, change our communication with government, maybe Big data particularly can have a huge impact on innovation. And this is something we're going to talk about today, how can we harvest this enormous potential? However, how can we be cautious about it as well? Because big data can also be turned into, all the science fiction movies we've been watching in the past 30 years. Can it be used for manipulating people even? It can certainly be used for foreseeing behavior in future, but can it be used for controlling people's behavior or shaping social values? How can we ensure privacy? How can we ensure individual freedom in the digital sphere, in a changing world? So these are questions I'm curious to learn more about today. I'm very, very pleased and happy to welcome our very distinguished panel of German and Thai experts here today with us. Looking forward to their interesting discussion. And I'm going to spare you today of talking about the foundation, but I'll show you a short video about us, and then we'll start right away with the discussion. Thank you very much.
It's not always easy to recognize. It may look like this, or like this. It may be a burden, but it is a responsibility that we embrace nonetheless. But if it means this for one person and this for someone else, maybe it ultimately means being there for one another. It isn't handed to us, but we know where to find it and how it feels, how it tastes, and what it sounds like when we finally have it. It means different things to different people, but for many, it means everything. And if we all fight for it, it will eventually bring us together.
Thank you, Catherine. That was a very touching video. Coming up next, we have an IT expert whose background is on politics and digitalization. His master thesis is on cryptography and political challenges in political science. He was an advisory committee at ICANN, a CEO of Cyber Solution Limited, and also in his political path, he was a former German member of Parliament from 2009 to 2013, an FDP spokesperson in Inquiry Committee on Internet and Digital Society, and also an FDP representative for startups. Let's welcoming Mr. Jimmy Schulz for our Freedom Talk tonight.
Thank you, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 4.0, we just heard, is, the new challenge for Thailand, and it is already a challenge for Germany. But why? What does it mean for Germany, Industry 4.0? It came up a couple of years during the Hanover Fair and during CeBIT, the largest IT fair in the world. But we recognized that, of course, a lot of small companies, innovative companies, computer companies, IT companies, software companies are there already in place in Germany. And the larger companies, the car manufacturers especially, of course, have taken up the challenge of digitalization already. But the backbone of German economics is not only car manufacturers. Hundreds and thousands of small and medium-sized industries and companies are, are threatening the challenge of digitalization. So what happened is that there is a fear that they oversleep the revolution of digitalization for the future. So the government, Chancellor Merkel and others came up, we have to focus on that area that every company and every small and medium-sized entrepreneur does have the chance to be part of that revolution. Nowadays, I heard just today that Thailand has already a minister, digital minister, which is great, fantastic. Well, just last weekend we had the General Assembly of the Liberal Democratic Party in Germany, which I'm a member of, and we decided that we are asking for a digital minister in Germany because we don't have one. So if we manage to get back into Parliament this September, we will fight for a digital minister in Germany. And it's one thing where you are already a year ahead. Thank you for that. In Parliament, we had the last couple of years a huge discussion about what this revolution will change: politics, economics, society, education, and all aspects of life of everyone. So what we did in 2010, we established an inquiry committee for Internet and digital society within the Parliament. We had 14 members of Parliament and 14 external experts to advise the Parliament on this change, on this revolution. What has politics to do? This inquiry committee was in charge for almost 3 years and covering every aspect of society, education, communication, and especially politics. Where does that all change our lives? What does politicians have to do to adopt these changes? To rule them, maybe? Well, as a liberal, I think how to improve them, how to get to accept the chance, how to accept the challenge of that revolution. This inquiry committee was in charge from 2010 till 2013. And a lot of ideas were developed. One of them is that it has to have a place within the Parliament for the next centuries, maybe, that there is a group of parliamentarians just dealing with the revolution of digitalization and global networking, the internet. So the parliamentarians will always know where the newest development is. We've been also visiting Silicon Valley with the Vice Chancellor Philip Rösler in the year 2013. And we visited also the German newspaper. You've heard about the Springer Verlag, the Bild newspaper, for example. They came up with the same questions as we parliamentarians did. But that they did is they went to Silicon Valley to ask, to see, to live, to breathe. What's the difference there? And this was so interesting. We visited Kai Diekmann and Christoph Käse in their Springer mansion to see what they have learned already. What was their impression about what makes the difference? Why is Silicon Valley so much faster than Germany and maybe Thailand? And it was an interesting talk over a couple of bottles of wine during the night with Kai Diekmann, where we recognized how he changed himself. You may have seen him before, wearing a suit, a tie, a little handkerchief here, nice shoes, nice hair. And when I saw him again in Silicon Valley, sneakers, jeans, t-shirt, a beard, and tattooed in just 3 months. Well, it was quite astonishing to us all. And he said, okay, what's the reason? What's the difference here? Think different. One thing, you've heard about that. But what they do there is they're questioning the rules. They're questioning the behavior. They're questioning the norms, the laws, everything. And if you always think, well, everything is okay. Everything is like good, like we have it. Always, and if you think we should do it the way we've always done it, it won't bring you far. Question everything, challenge everything. That's the challenge for Thailand, and that's our challenge in Germany too. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much, Kun Jimmy. That was quite an inspiring talk. Think different, challenge everything. Coming up next is the Freedom Dialogue. Let me first introduce our moderator, Kun Pimpachara Kuson Wititgun. She's from the Office of the Public Sector Development Commission, Office of the Prime Minister. She will be the moderator for our discussion this evening. Kun Pimpachara is a Royal Thai Government Scholarship holder. She completed her master's degree from Yale University in International and Development Economics. Before she joined the Office of the Prime Minister, she used to be an economist at the Ministry of Finance. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Kun Pimpachara to the stage.
And for our panelists, Dr. Sushada Ilaksana, a policy and strategic plan analyst who has distinguished experience on ICT policy and socio-economic development from the Ministry of Digital Economy. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Dr. Sushada Ilaksana. Our next panelist, Kundanairat Thanabadi Thamachari, a digital business transformation expert from SAP Thailand, who has more than 22 years of experiences in consulting and implementation services across multiple industries. And welcoming again, Mr. Jimmy Schulz.
Can you hear me? Okay. So thank you, Kun Sirintara, for your introduction to the panel discussion. And ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is my pleasure to welcome all of you to tonight's panel discussion on Freedom Dialogue on German and Thailand 4.0, opportunities and challenges of digitalization. So we've heard from Kun Jimmy's talk earlier about digitization in Germany, Germany 4.0, Industry 4.0 in Germany, and we start to get a glimpse of how digital innovation can bring great things to our lives, and we see how the German government has started to bring initiatives to transform the community into a digital economy. So now is a good opportunity for us to have this panel discussion of many of distinguished panelists. Dr. Sushada from the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society, Kun Danairat from SAP, and of course Kun Jimmy from Germany. This is a great opportunity for us to learn from each other, how Thailand can learn from Germany, or maybe there's something from Thailand that would be useful for Germany to bring back and put into some good use. So let us start with Kun Sushada first, our representative from Thai government. Kun Sushada, could you tell us briefly about digital policy that the government has envisioned, and what are the key policies that the government would like to steer Thailand towards digital Thailand and ultimately Thailand 4.0? And what are the major milestones, of course, that the government would like to achieve in the next 5 to 10 years to bring Thailand into digitalized Thailand?
Okay. Very nice evening for today, and I really welcome to come to join this panel discussion. I would like to give the presentation briefly for the digital policy in Thailand. Actually, my ministry transformed from ICT to digital. And now we need to move to the new society. Everywhere is changed now. The social change, because only 0, 1, right? In the past, we gonna like analog. We go 0, 1, 2, 3 until 10. But now, only 0 and 1 is like 2 and 4, right? And we need to concentrate more, many policy, right? Sorry. Okay, so I would like to start from the loyal government's Thailand policy is start from the 1.0, from the agriculture. Yes, of course, Thailand is agriculture country, and we move to the light country with the low weight 2.0, and move to the maybe last 10 years or 20 years, we still in the heavy industry, right? And German also, you have so many automotive, very popular, and we love European car more than okay? And we strong to support the equipment to your all country, okay? And now the world changed. The Thailand moved to 4.0. We need to concentrate more about innovations, creativity, and we try to transform for the analog world to digital world. And the 3 concepts with the innovation, with the digital economy in Thailand 4.0 is creativity, innovation, digital, plus digital technology. I still have some problem about equipment, okay? Oh, sorry. Okay, maybe next. So it's better for me to walk around and show what is going on, okay? For the DE master plan, we developed like 20 years plan, but it's like dream when we need to talk about 20 years for the digital or technology, okay? So it's better to concentrate more in the phase of digital foundations now, until the end of this year, okay? We need to build the investment and building digital foundation in this country. And within this 5 years, we would like to Digital Thailand inclusive. We better ensure everyone can reap the benefits of digital technology. That means the investor should be aware about that. And Thailand, if we might, we have so many material and very good infrastructure to support the investor. And the first 3, maybe next 10 years, we would like to the digital Thailand full transformation. That is like we try to go to that target. But the end, maybe this quite hard for us, but we need to dream about that. We would like to be the global digital leadership if it's possible, and we can cooperate and have the network together. And this is like the 6th strategy. I would like to, really sorry about that. Okay, 6th main strategy for the DE plan. I would like to show you very short The first, we need to build the country high capacity for the digital infrastructure. The second, our government would like to boost the economy with the digital technology. That is one of our mission. But we still need very strong cooperate with this, boost up the economy with the private sector. And also the third one, we would like to create a knowledge-driven digital society together, right? And the fourth, this is our government need to do it by ourselves, not only Ministry of Digital Economy, but that means all 20 ministry together for transform into the government, digital government. And the fifth, develop the workforce. This is more important because if we not ready for to build up the human capacity in this country, it's very hard. So knowledge transfer is very important. And also the sixth strategy is about the build trust and confidential. That is also very, very important because you know the digital world, the network, you never know who behind your house. They can join you, can connect you, and that the main mission government need to protect the privacy data. Okay, so for the digital foundations, the first I would like to the government need to promote the online community store via the digital community center, and also we would like to develop digital cluster under the government's super cluster. Is like 10 super cluster which the government promote now. It include automotive, medical hub, and digital. Okay, and this is one which I really want to show you two main project. The project is about the now we have like MOU with the Ministry of Education, and we try to support the Wi-Fi access more than 7,000 points, and that is can create the career path for the like grassroots. In the concept of the governments, we would like to use like the post office to the like logistic and delivery the goods. Okay, and we try to set the like the one community on one story, like the try to build a best platform for you too. And this is like the concept. We need to do so many things, like try to improve for agriculture society to smart farmer and link to the logistic system. And one main project which I really want to show you, but it's still in the plan, is about the like innovation digital park Thailand. That also like the concept of three major concepts about the digital experience innovation, digital connectivity hub, digital tech accelerations, and digital industry investment. And the last page, Digital Park Thailand. This one, we try to build it up under the 600 light and in the locate at the eastern corridor which the government try to promote. So it's going to be close to the Chonburi. It's called Siracha. Maybe most of you know well about that. And that is under this project. Under this area, we're going to have the project like digital park to combine everyone for the investor in the future. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sushada, for giving us such a very informative picture of the digital landscape that the government has envisioned to bring in the near future. With the 6 strategies, I think with the infrastructure or putting digitalization into the economy, with the society, or building foundations in the government and the workforce, and the most important thing is to build trust into the system. So with these strategies in mind, I think the vision will be, and with this solid plan, will not only be a dream, but will become a reality in the short future. Now we've heard what the government and the Ministry of Digital Economy is trying to achieve. Now let's move on to our representative from the private sector, Kun Danai. Let's hear about what the private, in your opinion, what would be the, how would you describe this opportunity that digitalization brings to business and consumers, or the society, and also the government around the world and in Thailand? And how do you think we should adjust to this change and take the advantage of the change that it brings?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Hello? Hello. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am Danarat, the digital transformation for the large enterprise for both the public and private sectors. So last 3 years, we talk about how to transform the business using ICT. Now this year, it looks like ICT already gone. So becoming everything digital. So we need to understand clearly what is the digital in terms of not just the tool or technology, but in terms of the philosophy, why we need the digital, and in terms of the political, how the digital can blend into the organization, and third one, how to bring you and your network become the business partner for the digital economy. And the last one, we can talk about the digital business. How can make the business move faster? So when I have the conversation with my customer, the large enterprise, we not start from the how to bring the technology, how to convert the application to the mobile, or how to bring the data center into the cloud. That one is just only the digital surface. It's not the digital core. So we need to really look what is the digital core. So when I'm talking about the digital philosophy, it means everything going to be connected. So after they connect, it means man, unmanned, and animal can connect together. So the CCTV or whatever the device can capture the data into the digital platform and can produce analytics for the human decision. So after we understand the digital landscape, we can go back to the business model. Previously in the ICT model, we need to do things best in ourselves. We create big organization, but in terms of the digital mindset, we need to understand what we best with. So what we have no the skill, we need to let the other partner to join with us, no matter what side the business come. So in 3 things, when we talk to the very large organization, now we talk about the digital transformation strategy. So it looks like previously when we do things in the past, it can't repeat or replicate in the future. Mostly the big organization, when they want to do new thing, firstly they will build a team. Second, they will distribute the KPI or business objective. And third one, they will deploy the best practice business process. So from the digital mindset, the first one, the founder or the digital leader need to understand the flagship. So in the big organization, maybe they only have 3 flagship. Look like in Apple, they have iPhone. In Samsung, they have S series. So we pick the flagship first before we set any organization. So after the flagship identified, you will understand what the behavior you need from the people or from the unmanned machine. So machine will come later after you pick the flagship, your product and service. And the second one is all about the capability model. And the last one is a digital touch point. In Thailand, from now and moving forward, mostly the people try to do the digital touch point. They don't even know that their business network can be partnered with their competitor, like what we see in LG and Samsung. They compete in some area, but they are friends in some other areas. So the first one, flagship. The second one, for the digital network capability model. And the last one is the digital touch point. And this is very challenging to transform the organization, even in the public sector, to change their mindset. But we can give them the reason why we need the first one first. Like we understand, let's start at the end, with the end in mind, before you do the digital touch point. So 1, 2, 3, and transition, small thing, medium impact, and then replicate to other area. So this is from my takeaway. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kun Danairat, for your view on digital transformation and sharing your experience in working with enterprises to transform the organization. So now let's turn to Mr. Schus. So from the other 2 panelists, and you see what's been going on in Thailand. So what would be the experiences that you would like to share from Germany that would be helpful to the implementation of the digital transformation policy in Thailand? And what are the key conditions that would be the key conditions that would help promote the transformation in Thailand?
I saw your plan. Within 20 years, you will. I know you stated that it's very ambitious to come to a digital world leadership within 20 years. I would agree, because we've tried that a couple of times, and 20 years in that area to become a world leader is a high goal, but you have to have high goals to achieve them. So I think the steps you mentioned are in the right order, and it's right. You have to have first the infrastructure, and you have to have an education that everyone in Thailand and in Germany, of course, too, has the ability to be part of that revolution. I think that's the base for getting to Thailand 4.0. That you have the infrastructure, broadband everywhere, and you have the people who are able to use that infrastructure. I think that's the same in Germany, and they are not there yet. We've had the digital agenda of the actual government Chancellor Merkel, and, well, that's our problem. We have free internet ministers. Well, I believe we have more than 7 because everyone says, well, that's interesting, I want to do that. And in Germany, for example, one of the ministers of, for internet is the Minister of Infrastructure and Traffic. He's in charge of the broadband, and he promised 3 years ago until the year 2018 that we will have 100% broadband for every household in Germany. Well, last week we had to admit it's not going to be 2018 because they just made 60% till now. So it's going to be a hard job, and it's expensive, but we have to do it. And that's, if I go back to Parliament, that's one of the main issues is broadband to every household in the next 2 years. We have to do it, unless whatever it costs. But without broadband to every household, you will leave a part of the society behind. We can't be part of this, that revolution. So, and if you don't, we as politicians are not allowed to do that because they will be behind for years, for too many years. So that's very important. The other thing is keep the internet free and open. You have to have a political discussion about things like what is free and openness, open protocols, open standards, open software. Because unless it's open, especially the protocols, you keep out a part of those new companies you want because they can't develop on the internet. You have to discuss the issue of net neutrality. Net neutrality is a major key milestone that you have to have an eye on. We ourselves have to do that too, because only if you have a neutral network, young, small companies have the ability to access the net and to be part of the revolution. I just saw that, well, in other countries in Asia, we had the discussion also. In Germany, we had that too. 0 rating internet might be a problem for other companies who want to access small, young startups who want to access that market, because the big player is already in place and says, okay, if you are my customer, you get the internet for free. That's 0 rating. And the small company doesn't have the money to pay for, the provider for that. So net neutrality is one of the key factors. You have to discuss on a political level what is allowed and what is not allowed. And I think having that political discussion within Parliament, within the society, is a good idea to prepare for that revolution.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing your experiences and bringing up the very important factors of how to bring everyone on board by both the hard infrastructure of broadband and also the soft infrastructure of neutrality that will allow people to join this revolution. So now let's get back to Kun Suchada to see how would you add on to what Kun Danairat and Mr. Schulz has told us, and how can we bring people in Thailand on board with this revolution, especially people that maybe in the remote area that might not have access right now, and how to change their also the mindset of the people.
Very important thing, educate them. Educate them and give them the chance to know, to get more opportunity, right? In the remote area, they lack of some things, so maybe education and the opportunity to give the knowledge-based society, that is the more important, and that is the duty for the governments. We need to try to do the best for them, give them the chance. They can build their own occupations by themselves. Yes.
Thank you. And what about you, Kun Danairat? How would you add to this idea of, you mentioned the digital mindset I think mindset is something that is quite difficult to build. So how would you suggest that we try to slowly build this mindset into Thailand and also in everywhere in the world actually?
Hello, thank you so much. Slow or fast, we can't measure today because the spread of the digital can be very fast. The first one, when I have a conversation with a large enterprise, you can't change the whole your enterprise. Just bring the flagship and bring some little of people, make them success and come back and show the success to the rest of the organization and let them see how big you smile. And then they want to change. So let the people change. Don't ask them, don't beg them to change. But we lead ourselves for the small group of people. This is why the top executive, very important on the first chain. Then the second thing, can I open my presentation that I gave? It looks like our conversation very connected. Let's open the presentation now. Let I recap again. Previous one, I talk about bring the digital flagship. It means digital come in 3 capabilities. It's more than the IT capability. The first one, the digital can be anywhere. Second one, the digital can be anytime. But the last one, the most important, is the digital can be any devices. So can be any devices. It means sometimes they have no screen. They just voice recognition. Sometimes they can vibrate, but they have no keyboard for anyone to key in. So if we leverage the power of the digital in the business process, we can disrupt that one to the new generation of the business process. Go back please to the cover, to the first one. Okay, here, okay. Okay, so when we talk about the digitization, but what I talk about the digitalization. Digitization in the IT era, it looks like from the paper to become the electronic paper, okay? Look like you have a paper and you change the paper to become the PDF format. But digitalization, let me ask again that, do we need that? Even the electronic paper, can we eliminate all the electronic paper away? We can have the social API to sentiment from the sourcing to the factory, to the distribution and the sale, every step of the value chain. So this is my current project. We bring the one public sector and another one from the private sector to build a secondary school, because now the people in the teenager, when they have their own free time. Okay, next page please. Okay, this one, the current situation. The internet is widely adopted in Thailand, yes, and we need the Wi-Fi per village, not per province, but village. And the 4G from the Thailand telecom operator also very widely in the head of the city across the Thailand. And what we found that mostly the teenager, when they have the screen time, they do entertainment, YouTube or maybe game. So in summary, they pick the phone, they spend the money. They pick the phone, they spend the money. How can we turn that for the teenager, that they have energy enough to pick the phone and earn some money? Yeah, so we like to change that one. And we understand from the Thailand research that the growth rate become very low. And if we turn all the children, bring the phone, earning the money, we can have the spread of the GDP rather than just only in the Bangkok city. So what we have done, next page please. Okay, the project objectives to increase the firstly education, digital literacy, but let I tell you that the literacy is still not enough, just the fundamental assets you have, but you need to build a digital identity, who you are in the digital world. After the children or the teenager, they understand that what they good. Some people they good in the cooking or dancing or speaking, whatever. Then we will build them to provide a mentor, let them to build a digital entrepreneur. And the last one, we also expect that to reduce the gap between the rich and poor people. And the near future, you may see the YouTube channel from the Thailand, very far away from Bangkok, in the river or in the buffalo, so they can live the Facebook how to use the IoT to catch the fish. Next one, please. So we can see the digital Thailand. We can have agriculture, this one, the alternative healthcare. We have a lot of herb. And next one for the travel and culture and sport here. And all the teenagers, they can use their social digital network to help their parents. Sometimes they need to release from the debt. They have not enough money to pay for the school fees. And the last one, definitely the robotic. So this is a maturity model that I built to the team. The first one released from the debt, so they can pay the fee by student. The second one, they find the talent to scale the business until the business look like almost optimization. It means they do very skillful. And the last one, very important, everyone will become the teacher. Why we need the last, previous one please. I mean the last number here. After they build the successor, it means the knowledge will never die. They create the successor, and the successor create another successor even better. So we can help the people to help others, and others can help the other, and government not enough the manpower to help everyone in the country. And this is the way that we start on the young student. No need to wait them until they graduate in the PhD, because they will lose another 15 years. And digital connect now. And the last presentation, the expected result, we can help not just government, but we can help the Thailand. Number two is we can accelerate, boost the economy using the digital capabilities. Second, the student understand how to build the social business, social enterprise, or sustainable business, because they earn and they give, they earn and they give, become the third maturity model on the top one. And the last one, we support the sustainable development goal from the UN, and also in Thailand we have the 20 years strategy Thailand. So in the number, if I'm not wrong, it's about number 4, about the equality, right? Okay, thank you. Sorry to take too long.
Thank you very much, Kun Danairat, for sharing more thoughts, especially the part about changing a little bit by bit. It's like transferring from a small group of people and then expand on that, and then it will become kind of like natural transformation and expansion to the bigger group. And also, thank you for sharing about your exciting project with the school. And built from the very young kids, and that will also be a natural change and help them learn from when they're very young. Now let's come back to Mr. Schus. From the thoughts from Kundanairat, that digital mindset is very important, and to build it is building changes, installing small change in the society, and you also mentioned that the initiatives that you're pushing forward would be both the hard infrastructure and also the soft infrastructure of neutrality policy. So would you say, would this bring about a natural change? Can with the infrastructure, would the transformation happen on its own, or would there need to be a special push to bring it forward?
Well,
what would you say?
Thank you for the question, because I was thinking about when I listened to you both. You talked completely correctly about the change of mindset which is needed. The problem is that I think, as a liberal, well, we can do the hardware by law and money, but the software, well, the mindset, it's hard to change by laws and money. So this is the challenge we face in Germany too. If you know a little bit about German society, you know that, well, Germans ask if something new, what can it harm you? That's the first question. Is it allowed? Is there a law? Is there insurance? What happens if anything goes wrong? With this mindset, it's hard to innovate. And even harder for a politician who grew up in the US to see it and can't change it. And there is no mean for a politician to change it. In spite of, well, setting the borders right and broad, apply every new technology as a politician yourself and as a government, as a state, accept new technologies. Don't be anxious. For example, self-driving cars. The motherland of the automobile has so many rules that this is so hard to develop self-driving cars in Germany. But in California, they just drive. They ask later, well, was that allowed? Where's the insurance? Does it do any harm? Of course, it's important that you have this in mind. But if we just all be more open, it would be much easier to have innovative, well, you have to be more straight and say, just do it, come on. And this is something politics can't and politicians can't change. Even companies have a hard job in changing that. So I think this is something, of course, we have to discuss, we have to talk about, but we can't force it. And that's the point. We have to live it and talk about it. And maybe step by step we can change it. By education, by companies who live that mood, who live that spirit, and they can change it step by step, but you can't force it.
Thank you very much. So yeah, I think we all agree that mindset is the hardest thing to change, but we have to try our best. So now, I think we've heard a little bit from our panelists. So maybe now I'll open the floor for a Q&A session, so that we can have more discussions from more people. How about that? Are we ready for Q&A? Okay. Then there's some microphone here, or maybe. Okay. So maybe the gentleman first, and then follow. Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ron Kamnuntip. I'm from Universal Music. Actually, music industry is the very first few industries that are affected by the digital revolution. disruptive technologies since the year 2000, and now we learn to cope with that, and now we can live with that and monetize or capitalize on that. But my question is probably to Jimmy and from the Ministry of Digital Economy, Kun Suchada, about disruptive technologies or services. In fact, it's not a lot about technologies, but maybe new kind of service. For example, taxi, transportation. You know about Uber, Grab, and traditional taxi in Thailand. I think all of you know what problem we face with the traditional taxi, so I don't need to explain that. But my question is, as a state, country, what would be the policy dealing with this kind of disruption? For example, Uber, it may not comply with the regulations in many countries. In EU, in Asia, many countries ban the service. And in Germany, I know that it's a very good role model, and probably Uber may not comply with all of your regulations. So how do you deal with that? And I think it's a policy question. As for Thailand, what are we going to do with that? Are we going to embrace it like Singapore, or are we going to ban all of the new technologies or disruptive technologies like in China? They ban it and develop all technologies by themselves, and that's the policy. So yes, I want to learn like to learn from Germany and probably EU. How do you manage this kind of disruptive innovation? And for Thailand, how are we going to deal with that? And there'll be more and more. I think transportation is just one of the examples. There'll be Airbnb and many more, which is conflicting with the local regulations. Thank you.
Okay, so Kun Jimmy, would you like to answer first, or? Okay, yeah.
Thank you very much for that question. In the short time, it's good that we are coming to that point, because this is, I think, this disruptive, revolutionary aspects every society, every state in the world is facing right now, and we have to discuss it. Of course, we had that hard discussion about Uber in Germany. First it was allowed, then it was completely banned. Now we have it in 2 cities, Munich and Berlin, where we have Uber, but on a completely different level as they do it in the US or in any other state. In Europe, it's completely different. Where some, for example, Finland has a complete free Uber regulation, and France has them banned completely, as far as I remember right now. So, but what is the solution? I think, well, yes, some economics, some companies, some business models will die. They've always been dying after technology evolution, and this is a revolution, of course. Yeah, we don't have any more people writing letters from bringing them by horse from one place to another. Yeah, yeah, we don't do it anymore. So what? They're faster now with cars, and we don't need written mail letters anymore right now. So it's revolutions always will have those changes, disruptive changes. My personal opinion is, well, let Uber do as long as they comply to according rules to the new situation. For example, in Germany, to have a taxi license, you have to know and have pass an exam where you have to know every street in the city. There's no need to know that, as long as you have a navigation system. So why? It's just to keep the new kid out right now, and there's no reason for that. So I think this rule is nonsense. So we have to have new rules. For example, insurance for the passenger, and that the driver has to be proven liability, things like that. But the non-needed rules we have in Germany, get rid of it. That's my opinion. That's the opinion of most of the part of my party, but not the majority in parliament. That's why we have that. And the same thing applies to Airbnb. We should be much more open. Why? I don't understand all those, well, my business model is going to be ruined by the internet. Yes, right. Get lost. Sorry to say so. Think something different, get a new job, and make your own revolution in another area. That's something we have to, sorry to be so clear and open, but it doesn't make any sense to me that as I was a lawmaker 7 years ago, and new to Parliament, they came to me, people who were renting video cassettes, and said, sorry, our business is dying, you have to make a law. I said, what? No, I'm not making a law that you are renting video cassettes anymore to rescue your business model. But we're dying. Yes, you are. Sorry about that. Do something different. It's hard, but we have to, on the other hand, the rules have to be fair, so everyone can access the market, so everyone has the same chance to participate in the new markets. And there will be social harshness when it comes to, okay, taxi drivers and other economical areas. We have to help as a state, yes, but we are not making laws to rescue dead business models.
Thank you. So now maybe Dr. Suchada can add to that.
Yes, for the Thai government policy, actually many law on digital economy and society now is amended in the cabinet, and we revise so many law to go with the digital change nowadays. So I think it's very important for government to try to comply with the business in currently, yes.
Okay, thank you. So now maybe to the lady in the front.
Good evening. Yeah, my name is Kamolat from People University, Thailand. Actually, when I heard about the policy of Thailand 4.0 or 4.0, I'm very happy, because actually I work with the Ministry of Suchada for a decade. We built up ICT Community Learning Center, or we call Thai Tele Center, for a decade. And They are the owner of the local wisdom, but they have no platform. They have no channel to talk. Hey, I have some good thing to tell you, to tell the world, but nobody have prepared a platform to them. So by this kind of open education, the Ministry of DE support the budget to let them propose their content. You are the owner of the content. What you want to tell your friend to be the best practice, to be the benchmark, to be any kind of case study. So this kind of open education to inject the real education to the Thai society is going to kick off in this kind of end of May with the 150 free course. So we are doing this because we found that the high of technology jumping, we can see the big gap of people, big gap of technology. So I commit to this Ministry and Ministry of Education. Wow, people university would like to help to less the burden of our digital Thailand, to inject the fast track education to the marginalized people. So this is the add up information that I would like to add up. And then another thing is with the open platform or the open space for community learning, we have tried a lot in using ICT for better quality of life. And then we follow up because I am from the university, so I am the gatekeeper between the UN and the grassroots people. So we apply the SDG model. We set up the SDG farm model and take the partnership model and work together. So right now we have the SDG farm model, and then use all kind of technology, like Kun Danela saying about the mindset of technology. I would like to say that Thai people is very jumping into that. They use the devices all the time, but they don't know how to use it in the optimization way, kind of that. So this is the how that we work very much on the sake of literacy, ICT literacy, on the stage of the utilization. So my question to Kun Jimmy is kind of, is there any lesson learned from German about the open education that my university, open education, can learn from you, and even we can pilot, I can be partnership and then fast track. Because right now I would like to say that a lot of layoff, a lot of unemployed. We need the startup, we need the smart mindset, because they all use the devices, but many of them still don't have the smart mindset. So I think that the fast track that we talk among us is we need to produce the MOOC and inject to all, even they are the senior citizen or they are the youth, because 100,000 of youth are out of school, but they have the capability. So if we can have the appropriate academy that can be exactly fast track, direct to them. So I think that the majority of the society that is still a question, a problem area, can be better. So I think that Thai people learn a lot from German for a decade, for a century. So I think this will be another lesson learned that we would like to learn from you also. Thank you so much.
So thank you for your question, and so also sharing real life experience of how to promote the usage and literacy in ICT and also using digital devices. So let Kun Jimmy answer the question, and then we'll go back to the question.
I tried to answer it briefly. I think that as far as I understood, the educational system in Germany and Thailand is quite different. And I don't say it's better, it's different. But we share the same problems and some cases. And we tried to the educational system in Germany was quite monolith. You have 3 branches of schools, and only if you achieve the highest grade you're allowed to go to university. And only in this case, and there's no other way to change and you had to decide after 4th grade, when you're 10 years old, if you want to study someday in your life. Which is not a good idea, I think, but that was the normal way, 20 years ago in Germany. We opened the system, so it might be more fluctual, so you can, take the next one to the right path if you want to later on. But it's still very, very, very hard to do so. I don't think it's a good idea, but that's the system we have. And the results are, sometimes successful, sometimes not. But to open, how to get people who dropped out and to get them back on the track is, even in Germany, not that easy. Because if you don't go through high school, gymnasium, and then to university, of course, the higher education is blocked for the rest of your life. There is a chance that you make it after a couple of years in job, that you have to do that, in a spare time, studies, and redo it. But for the others who didn't choose that path and they were 10 years old, we have a completely different system, because they go to school and start their jobs at the same time when we're around about 16. So we go to a company and learn what the company does for 3 years, and at the same time go to school. And on that path is wide open for programmers, administrators, and all the ICT branch. They are, since 25 years, widely accepted that this is a path to get into the internet business. So we reach more than just the students in that area, which is a nice idea. I like that. But how to get dropouts back on the track in this area, I think it's a worldwide problem. I don't have a perfect solution for you right now. As online universities, but you have to have the mindset, I want to do that. And most of the dropouts are lacking exactly that mindset. So but you can't force them to do that. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. So there are a few more questions. Actually, gentleman over there has raised his hand for a while, so I'll let him first, and then you can go after.
It's Carsten. I'm a blogger and podcaster, and when I see these very detailed presentations about future plans you're having, including building an IT park about 100 kilometers from Bangkok, and hearing about a lot of other grand policies, my question is, what kind of input are you getting from people who are actually starting startups? So maybe as a question to all of the panel members, can you please tell us about the last time you talked to a startup and what your takeaway was from that conversation? Thank you.
Actually, we have the organization is like software park in the past, and also SIPA. That is concentrate more about the software, but now we transfer that organization to do more about digitalize, and they need to work so many activity about improve for the workforce and try to create the value or the opportunity for the project which I mentioned about that. So for your question, I think we try to prepare at the backstage with this organization, and we would like to go with the Eastern Corridor policy, that one, and we will go together in the big picture.
Okay, so the question is to all panelists. Okay, so how about Kun Danai Wood, would you like to add on that from your interactions with startups how have you experienced it, and what are some of the feedbacks that you've heard or discussions that you've had in the past?
Thank you. Thailand, we spend a lot of money to promote the startup program, and if we understand the startup, it looks like they do the new thing, innovation, and later they want 10 times the return or maybe 100 times. So from my view, in the previous presentation, I did not say startup, I call entrepreneur. I call that don't fire yourself, but fire your talent. Fire your talent is mean you can increase your talent and you can discover deep in the talent, then do the best and pass it to others. So if they follow this maturity, they can create the multiply network, and this one is better than just we own something and we do best just one thing. So in the 4.0, it's not just disruptive technology, it's about create your own network. And when you do startup, you need to understand the sociology, what they need in the current era, not follow your passion. So what the sociology need, not just what you want. Okay, and that's from my view. Okay, thank you.
So it's more like asking what the customers needs, not what you want to do, kind of like. So that's so. Would you,
I just want to add one, because I'm fully here with you. Just one sentence to add is, what's your business plan? And the best business plan ever is earn more than you spend. That's it.
That's a very simple one, but very true, actually. So I think we have time for one more question. Okay. Yes. Would you like to come up to the microphone? Right behind you. Oh, okay.
When you pose your question, keep in mind that we don't have anything to eat and to drink up here.
Yes.
Then I go back to the table. Thank you. During the past 10 minutes, the question of education came up. And I do live since many years in Thailand in the industry. And if we want to be successful, then we have to make enormous efforts to increase education. And when you see the universities, the ranking universities, which one is the ranking university in Asia is number one? Do you know that? In Asia. Singapore. And you know the rankings from Thailand? I'm not going to say the number. If we want to be successful in 4.0, we have to increase, and we have mentioned it very, very often to the Ministry of Education, enormous investments to increase education, to have critical and educated students. We cannot just say we leave it on our own and they should do it themselves. There was certain messages. So the priority is education, education, and education. For example, the German Chancellor, Mrs. Merkel, went to see President Trump 2 weeks ago in the United States. You know what she did? She took the president from Siemens and from BMW and students, and they explained the dual education system, which is the best one, which we have worldwide. And President Trump was so much impressed that he has sent his daughter 1 week later that she is going to see the dual educations. For example, Siemens has 6,000 students. And when I was president of the chamber, German Thai chamber, we have introduced the dual education system here in Thailand. But we need much more the initiative of the Ministry of Industry, the Ministry of Education, in order to be successful, that Thailand can survive as a leading nation here in Southeast Asia. Again, education, and not maybe, and money, and so on. Not too much has happened.
Thank you. So thank you for your remarks. So I think everyone agrees that education is very important, and I think it helps not only with the digitalization, but also with many things in our lives. So I think our time is up. So I think I should conclude this panel. And so before we close, maybe we'll have a minute to let the panel kind of briefly summarize or have final remarks on this topic. Maybe start with you, Jimmy.
Thank you very much. I'll start with it, and I'll be very brief.
Maybe one sentence.
One
or
sentence.
Maybe two.
I would wish that we worldwide would respect privacy and freedom of speech, and to protect yourself, encrypt your data.
So privacy, this is also a very important issue involving digital, yes. And so how about Kun Danai, would you like to have a few words to end?
The transitioning to the digital, like I said, the flagship capability model, you and your network, not just you, and the digital touch point. So it's become heart, head, and hand. And your heart, it means your customer heart also. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And last but not least, Kun Suchada.
Yeah, for the government, we need to be like strong leadership, and we need to provide the opportunity for the society. And this is maybe the keyword for the governments. We not do for only business, but we do for society.
Okay, so I think this wraps up our panel discussion for tonight, and I hope you all enjoy this very engaging and very informative, and also very inspiring discussion on digitization. So please join me to thank our wonderful panelists. First, right beside me, Kun Jimmy Schuss, IT expert and for German Member of Parliament. And thank you, Kun Danairat Thanabadi Thamachari, representative from SAP. And also thank you, Dr. Suchada In Laksana from the Ministry of Digital Economy and Society. And I also would like to invite all of you to give a round of applause for our host, the Friedrich Neumann Foundation, for bringing us a wonderful discussion that we learned from. Okay, thank you. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for listening, and we can share more when we have during dinner and afterwards. So thank you very much.
Well, before we move on to the dinner, we actually have one final part of the program. But before that, let me thank the moderator first for wonderful moderation. So, for the next part, I just want to say that this year is exceptionally special as we have our member of the board of the directors from Germany, Mr. Manfred Richter, with us. Mr. Richter is a trustee in FNF's board of directors, former Lord Mayor of the city of Bremerhaven, former whip of the FDP faction in the Germany Bundestag, and most importantly, a comedian. I would like to now invite Mr. Manfred Richter to give a freedom toast.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor and pleasure for me to offer this freedom toast to you. So on behalf of the board of directors of our foundation, I would like to thank you all for participating in this important event, particularly important for both our countries, equally important to both our countries. Although the circumstances may be different, digitalization is a factor that changes societies around the globe. I will give you an example, because we have heard about the changes in infrastructure, the changes in structure of businesses. In only 2 generations we've seen changes. My grandfather was a blacksmith in a village in northern Germany, and blacksmiths were a trade that was common because horses were the power of agriculture. In only 1 generation, the trade of blacksmith has gone away. So accepting changes is an essential need for modernizing societies. And that is true in Germany as it is true in Thailand. It is true everywhere. The rules that we apply must be equal and fair. And Uber is only one example for changing traditions. But neglecting the need to change leads to nowhere. That is one conclusion that we can draw from today's event. I would like to thank everybody who contributed to that. Now, this is a toast for freedom, and freedom has a lot to do with changes in a society. Now, for our foundation, being active in more than 60 countries of the world, one of the experiences that we have made over the years is that changes are needed, but changes bring chances and also jeopardies, and sometimes jeopardies for freedom. In my country, we have experienced a change after Germany's unification, that part of my homeland has changed from an unfree society to a free one. And we are thankful for that development. And we see other countries where people are still yearning to get freedom for their personal life. And freedom is manifold. It's freedom of thought, freedom of opinion, freedom of religion, freedom of speech, economy, freedom of the press, you name it. Every element of freedom is essential. And the one thing that we have learned is that in many countries, like my own, we take freedom for granted. But it is not. Freedom is not for free. It takes people to speak out for freedom and to get active for freedom, for our own sake and for the sake of our neighbors. And so this is the other experience. Freedom, when freedom is challenged or jeopardized or lost, that is the time when we appreciate freedom most. So the basic message is we should not take freedom for granted. We should work for it. We should reach out hands to work jointly. And I'm very pleased to be here at this event, which is obviously relevant to your country, Thailand, and to my country, Germany, as well. So enjoy the rest of the evening. Enjoy food and drink. And enjoy the discussions that are possible today. And I would like to thank the organizers who put this thing together. You've done a wonderful job, and I hope you enjoy this evening as much as I do.
Thank you, Khun Rishta, for the toast. And now we have our buffet dinner is ready. And one more thing, I would like to promote that the FNF Thailand fan page has a Facebook Live on it. You can find us on Facebook and join our Facebook Live. Thank you.